things that got me fired from church. Number one, my interpretation of the widow's mite in Matthew and Mark, for example, Mark 12. I didn't make this up, by the way, but when Jesus is in the temple in Matthew and Mark here, he is discussing some of the issues he has and concerns. In Matthew, he's very strong, saying, "Woe to you, Pharisees, you hypocrites," and gives a list of why they're hypocrites and why there's destruction upon them. And one of the big things, and Mark mentions this too, is taking advantage of widows. Mark's account, Jesus says they devour widows' houses. They take full advantage of the widows. And then the scene turns to an actual widow giving her last mite, which is the smallest denomination, right, monetary denomination, into the coffer of the temple, donating all that she has out of her poverty to the temple. Now, here's the thing. The talking point I was raised on in the American church evangelical culture was be like that widow. The widow's mite, wow, what great faith she had. Give, and you need to give like this. And now, that's true. The widow was great. The widow did have great faith. But if you stop there, you weaponize and you become just like the Pharisees, Pastor. Listen up. Because the bigger picture is that Jesus is condemning the system, that temple system, that power structure for taking advantage of the people, and particularly the most vulnerable among them, the widow, and allowing her and taking her, even her last mite. How dare that system do that? The system is corrupt, proven by that very incident. That's what Jesus is pointing out. This is not good that you allow the widow to give her last mite, that you take it from her. The modern church can also weaponize that by trying to ridiculously apply Levitical tithing laws to people, making sure they understand they have to give at least 10%, even if they can't afford to do it. That's not the system that God and Jesus has set out. So the bigger picture is that the widow's faith is great, but she was taken advantage of by a system. And this goes back to Matthew, where Jesus says it's better for the leaders to have a millstone tied around their neck and thrown into the ocean, to the sea, than for them to continue to lead one of his people astray. This widow was being led astray by a corrupt, sick, broken system, and Jesus exposed it.